Well, welcome back everybody. We are here today to talk about every great match at every single WWE NXT Halloween Havoc. The time of the year for Halloween coming up, get your best costumes, having the trick-or-treaters.
Nick-or-treat! Nick doesn't care how old it is.
Nick-or-treat!
But either way, remember to stay away from anything that is scary out there,
Ah! Stewie, relax. No, Brian, you keep that thing away from me! Is it looking at me?
And yes, we are not doing WCW. If you want that for next year, we can do that. Right, hit that like and subscribe button because it helps out the channel. So first we get up to is Halloween Havoc of 2020. Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae. NXT Women's Tables, Ladders, and Scares match was the better match. Io, Candice always has a great rivalry any single time they are together. With the whole thing of Candice never being able to beat Io before, and them going back and forth some of the spots that they were taking. Like Candice, she loves taking some crazy freaking spots when it comes to ladder matches, and the whole match ended itself with her flying into that one ladder, and basically that's how Io comes up and retains her title. I thought it was a great way to finish the match. I thought it was perfect. They really did use the whole stipulation to its full effect in this match instead of leaving it behind. Everything together just worked perfectly for this match. Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae in the NXT Women's Tables, Ladders, and Scares match takes 2020 as the best Halloween Havoc match. When we get to Halloween Havoc 2021, honestly, not gonna lie, this show.
John in Tennessee, go ahead. What you want to say?
That shit is fucking trash, dog. Get the fuck off the airwaves.
A mid-match that should have been something good of Braun Breaker versus Champ, but either way, there was at least one match that shined through the rest of them, and that was the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship Scare Away to Hell ladder match of the winners of Gigi Jolin and JC Jane. This match was surprisingly actually a lot of fun. I feel like they really used every single ladder for its purpose in this match, and everyone got their opportunity to look good and throw people throughout ladders. Freaking Indy hitting some spine busters on ladders, Zoe falling off one ladder, flying into the opponents. You even had Io jumping off of the second rope, doing a moonsault onto somebody on a ladder. Indy basically almost killing Io Sky, throwing her onto a ladder, and over everything the match itself, and the spots. I feel like they were really using the ladders to its full effect here. Especially too, since they were in NXT, the majority of them being their first ever ladder match. I felt like the ending of the match was very, very flat, and I feel like it could have been better, but it was the right winners. NXT Women's Tag Team Championship Scare Away to Hell ladder match takes 2021. NXT Halloween Havoc of 2022. Now this card really only had two matches that really stuck out. Have the North American Championship ladder match, the NXT Men's Championship Triple Threat, and both matches were very, very close. The one that really ended up shining out was the men's triple threat match for the NXT Championship. Braun Breaker, Ilya Dragunov, JD McDonough. Overall, it had the better story, and overall story of Ilya, having to relinquish his NXT UK title because of injury. Braun Breaker then building him up as the future guy. He's the face, he's this. Ilya wanting another shot and wanting to be champion because he never really truly lost the title. Then JD also having towards someone like Ilya because he was on trajectory to win that title but ends up losing to Ilya, and now he wants his revenge. He wants his time back to beat Ilya and try to become NXT champion. Just overall the match, all three men are great in-ring workers, and I feel like it was able to highlight each one of them very, very good. But I think overall too, the whole overall ending of like Braun Breaker ended up winning, said literally Ilya left everything out there, and if it wasn't for JD, those times he could have became NXT champion. It was just because of that Braun Breaker ended up retaining his title. I felt like it was a great way from the story they got building up, the match itself, and the overall ending. I thought it was everything just worked and worked very well, and it helped grow more further stories for all three men for their future feuds. So everything worked out well. I feel like the triple threat match for the men's NXT Championship of Braun Breaker, Ilya Dragunov, and JD McDonough were the best match of 2022. Then we get the WWE NXT Halloween Havoc week 1 of a 2-week special. That's not even like a debate what's the best match of the night. It is Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch, the NXT Women's Championship. From Becky, then her building this up, whoever she wanted, somebody, an up and coming new talent who's going to be the face of NXT to be here, and then telling that whole story of Lyra to be the #1 contender, and then the whole thing about Lyra being her big fan, being inspired by her going to school. It was just a great story building up up and literally having two, both Irish women. It was just all great. Everything was built up perfectly, and the stage was set. Halloween Havoc. All they had to do was deliver a match, and they delivered a banger. This match was great. Of course, great as the GOAT Becky Lynch that she is in WWE, helping Lyra look like a star in this match, showcasing how great Lyra is. And then the surprising, the shocking factor out of everything, Becky Lynch lost clean. Not many people you can say right now can beat Becky Lynch. And Lyra Valkyria is one of the people able to do that. It is saying a lot. Delivering a great story, a great match, the overall ending of the match, perfect. Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria for the NXT Women's Championship easily takes night one of Halloween Havoc of 2023. And we get to WWE NXT Halloween Havoc Night 2. Then there was a match finishing off the trilogy of their matches, and that was Carmelo Hayes versus Ilya Dragunov 3. That's the reason why I'm choosing them as the best match of the night, because then you still had the tie-in telling the story of that at the time. Who attacked Trick Williams? Was it Melo? Was it somebody else? Who attacked Trick? And then of course having the whole match of them going back and forth and just brawling and fighting and just having a great match like those two have with their great chemistry. Everything just clicked and was connected. After everything, you get to the end of the match where Melo is about to win, and then you hear Trick Williams, the music comes in, and he comes walking out, and he's furious. He is mad, but Melo looks like he has seen a ghost, and he'll end up giving the opportunity for Ilya to capitalize, get the win, and close off their trilogy of matches, which I feel like it was a great thing they did this, because then you have Ilya who moves on to do what he needs to do for his next feud, also leads the tension and continues the feud between Melo and Trick in their overall story. I feel like it's easily Carmelo Hayes versus Ilya Dragunov for the NXT Championship. Ilya takes the best match of Halloween Havoc Night 2. Then we get to WWE NXT Halloween Havoc of 2024. This one was a very close one. Like, it was right neck and neck, just like this. But overall, I had to give the best match of Halloween Havoc 2024 was Julia and Stephanie Valkyrie versus Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. You may be thinking, whoa, what about Tony D versus Obafemi in that tables, ladders, and scares match? A couple reasons. Even though I understood why they made Tony D be the one that thrown Oba, shouldn't have been Tony D'Angelo. Even though I understood because of the story and what was going on, if Oba had taken out the family, that the family would come back in and help beat up Obafemi for the family to have this good big film moment. But my thing about that is it kind of almost feels like a repeat, almost a mirror of what we had when Obafemi lost to Tony D and he won the title. I understood the story needed that because of what Obafemi did, but I feel like it was just kind of like we already saw a type of version of that. Of course, the family wasn't there getting involved, but we still saw a version of that big, giant, almost Rocky type story that they were having with this. Don't sleep on the women's tag match. Match already had story. For one, Roxanne Perez being on one of the top 3 NXT Women's Championship reigns of all time, to have the best superstars from around the world to come over to challenge her for the NXT Women's Championship, like a Julia, like a Stephanie Valkyrie, having her at the CW debut. Julia was about to win the match. Cora Jade comes back and costs her the match, adds more to the story, and they become a pairing with, and then you brought in Stephanie Valkyrie. Stage was set for Halloween Havoc for them having a tag match, and what was surprising is this match was actually really good and a lot of fun. Like someone like Cora Jade, who you may think, she's been gone from injury and it was like her first match back, she didn't look that bad. She looked pretty good. You had the back and forth, the storytelling between Julia and Roxanne, to Stephanie getting the showcase herself to the NXT fans, and it was just the starting, the making of the star of Stephanie Valkyrie to see version this match where she currently is right now. Is overall more fun watching this match, and overall just in the match and the in-ring work itself, overall better match. And that's the reason why I think Julia and Stephanie Valkyrie versus Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez women's tag match takes the best match of Halloween Havoc NXT of 2024. Then we get to the most recent Halloween Havoc of WWE NXT Halloween Havoc of 2025. This show was actually a very fun show. They had a lot of good matches. Only 2 matches really were great for match of the night, and they were very close, and that was Tatum Paxley versus JC Jane, and that was Ethan Page versus Dr. Wagner Jr., and it was very close. I think the overall better match was just Ethan and Dr. Wagner. Like, even though JC and Tatum put on one heck of a match, I thought this match was also good, highlighting Dr. Wagner for WWE fans who maybe don't even watch the AAA show that was with WWE, this was a great highlight for him. The back and forth between him and Ethan Page, freaking I don't even know how Ethan Page did it, freaking even getting busted open, had one basically part of his face with face paint, the other one looked like he had another crimson face paint of blood basically, because somehow he busted himself open top of his head. I love how too, you know, when Ethan Page basically ripped almost the entire top of Dot Wagner Jr.'s mask, you really felt his anger, his furiousness, his frustration of wanting to go after Ethan Page with it. But even though Ethan Page was able to find some type of magic powder, able to use that, and he gets the win for that match. Overall, everything, Ethan Page, Dr. Wagner Jr., the North American Championship, takes the best match of WWE NXT's Halloween Havoc of 2025. But that's everything. This is my list of every single best match at every WWE NXT Halloween Havoc. Let me know down in the comments. Do you agree with my list? Do you disagree? Let me know what would be your own list for every great WWE NXT Halloween Havoc. Let me know down in the comments. That like and subscribe button. And remember, stay safe for Halloween. That's all from me. See you.